Hey,
Hi.
I'm Phil,
I'm Miles.
and we are TactileTK. So normally we stream video games. You can catch us on Twitch at twitch.tv/TactileTK. But today we're doing something a little different.
Yes, DC FANDOM has been in full effect all day, and I don't know how we've waited for so long at this point to watch the trailers that have come out, but that's what we're going to do right now. First up is Gotham Knights. Going in blind. Very, very excited. Phil, what are you hoping to get out of this trailer?
I'm hoping for co-op. I'm hoping they announce like some Batman and Robin or Robin and Robin action going on. You know, there's a lot of Robins, so let's get a couple of them in there.
Yes. Especially compared to the other Arkham games, which are fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't played Arkham Origins, but I just assume that it's average because it's not really talked about a lot.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so without further ado, let's just dive right into it. I can't wait. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Yeah.
Don't even know what that means.
I don't either.
Got about a dozen people frozen here. Need paramedics ASAP. All units, shootout in progress at Elliott Center.
Multiple active. Too many. We can't respond to them all. Where the hell is our backup?
Hi, I'm Patrick Redding, Creative Director on Gotham Knights. On behalf of the whole team at WB Games Montreal, I'm really honored to give you a quick look at our gameplay.
Note 3. Elliott Center is covered in ice. Whatever's causing this is localized at the top.
We're going to look at a short clip from one of Gotham Knights' villain crimes in a pre-alpha build. This mission is halfway through the Mr. Freeze storyline, and we're playing Batgirl a dozen or so hours into her character progression.
What does that mean?
What?
All units at Elliott Center. Air support inbound.
Nice.
That was cool.
Hostiles opening fire on upper floors. Air support, can you do a fly around?
Freeze has recently returned to Gotham with a mysterious agenda that involves manipulating the weather to flash freeze the city.
Okay, so it looks like the same mechanics
An
as...
important goal for Gotham Knights was that players can play all of the game, either solo or in two-player co-op.
Yes! Oh my god!
No.
Robin's learned how to access the Justice League satellite for short-range teleportation. Meanwhile, Batgirl has mastered some more familiar techniques.
Oh, it plays the same as the Arkham games, it looks like. Which is
Nice.
funny because, like...
And developed a few new ones of her own.
I love how she jumped off that truck.
The health bars are helpful.
Yeah.
Is that-
Here. Heard you're down there having some fun.
Fun's one word.
Oh, Montoya!
Just a heads up. The chopper's under orders to fire on anything that moves inside.
I want a better look at Robin.
Right? That was a weird costume that they gave him.
Yeah.
The storm is getting worse. You need to hurry and find a way inside Elliott Center.
The GCPD chopper made that part easy.
Looks like expansive free roam.
Yeah. What is this costume?
Right?
This doesn't look up to
Is he wearing,
code.
like, a helmet or
It looks like Jason but with a cape. I don't understand.
Yeah. I'm hoping that's not the final word on the Robin costume.
I really am too. I don't love it. I think Barbara looks fantastic.
Absolutely.
If anyone asks, I meant to do that.
I won't say a word.
Which Robin we got?
Wait,
Tours were still going on when Freeze came through.
Those poor people.
it's either Damien or Tim.
Chance.
Can't be Jason.
Gotham Knights is built to let players approach each challenge with their preferred style
Seems to me.
and their preferred build.
Oh, so maybe the costume's customizable.
Oh, thank God.
It'll only take a second.
Oh, is that like a Red Robin
It's
costume?
Tim. It's
Yeah.
gotta be Tim.
Oh, okay, cool.
I get to play as Tim. This is so awesome.
The proper Robin.
Oh, this is totally not the trailer. This is the gameplay.
Yeah.
We could keep on this, or we can watch the trailer.
This is true. Let's keep with this. This is pretty interesting.
I'm into that.
No precision.
It's getting down to that tonfa.
Oh my god, I love this so much.
I love her grapples.
Dad, you're it.
Nice. Just what we're hoping for.
Yes. That's so awesome.
Not the safest time to take the elevator.
You'd rather take the stairs?
These cables on the floor. Guaranteed they lead to freeze.
I like the voice they have for Tim and Barbara.
I do too. They nailed it.
Yeah. I hope they're not a weird couple in this game.
Oh god. I mean, if
Belfry, status.
Count
Yeah.
is dead, and the temperature's still falling.
We need to stop this. Now.
Belfry wasn't kidding about this storm.
Almost there. I see the weather machine. Ready with the disruptor.
That thing's drawing so much power.
Field disruptor's in place. It's charging.
Get away from my storm engine!
Is that what you're calling it?
sounds like the same guy.
You don't want to be on the roof when this disruptor goes off. Trust me.
Irrelevant. I already have what I need. The storm has risen over Gotham. Nothing can stop it.
We'll see about that.
You cannot run from me!
He sounds angrier.
An important element of Gotham Knights is that as the player increases in power and ability, their foes keep pace.
Nice.
So confronting a villain like Mr. Freeze can be a very different proposition at level 5 or at level 15. And not just in terms of stats, but in the kinds of attacks and defenses they bring to bear.
I like
That
that you
was
can
just a
level
short
up.
peek at
Yeah.
Gotham Knights. We're going to have more to show you in the future.
Woo. Step into the night.
Oh
All right.
my goodness.
All right. Well, I got my wish.
Yes, literally like seconds before. Well, never mind. Not seconds before we started recording, but just like literally 2 seconds in this video, feels like all I want is co-op. And 2 seconds in the video, co-op, and I'm like, oh my god.
It's literally the only thing that the Arkham games never gave us, which I thought was a missed opportunity. I understand their and respect their drive to make a solid single player experience first and foremost, and I think you should. But like, I think there's room to. I mean, it's the Batman universe. He has partners. It's just if you're a comic book geek, like you live for that stuff. So I'm happy to see it. I really want to know where we're at in the timeline.
Same.
What universe we're in. Are we in the same shared universe from the Arkham games, or is this its own thing? That's why I had that question about Tim and Barbara, because I'm just like, I did not like the weird couple energy they gave them in Arkham Knight.
Either, which like the Arkham games nailed everything about just the history of Batman, his characters, and like, you know, some of their iconic storylines, like within like side missions and DLC and stuff like that, and the voice actors were phenomenal. Everything about the game I loved. All three of them. They're so good. And the storyline was fantastic.
Same.
And it's really exciting to see, because one of my favorite parts about playing, I guess, the second two, I don't know if this was available in the first one, but the second two games was getting to do the combat kind of system and get to choose which Robin you wanted to play as and choose characters, and then, you know, 3, our Arkham Knight took it to a step farther in not only acknowledging of the other characters in the world and Batman's other allies, but like giving them their own small story arcs, which I thought was really, really cool. And you know, I loved that they did that in Spider-Man as well, which had really good DLC. Like, you know, obviously, I almost said Tobey Maguire, but obviously Peter Parker was kind of the central of most of them, but it really delved deeper into oh my god, I lost my train of thought. They delved deeper into some of the villains that you got to see in the main game, or that you didn't, like Black Cat. Like, you see her and you hear her, but you don't like get to interact with her ever. And that's something the DLC could really, really do. So, like, yeah, definitely love them for that. I do agree with Phil. The co-op was definitely a missed opportunity. Like, in the Arkham games, just that, and it's just even just like speaking from us and saying, just like, you know, because a lot of the times we do love to play that kind of co-op stuff, like with each other and with our other brothers and stuff like that, and that's fun. And I would be hard pressed to say that not a lot of people felt this way. I feel like a lot of people did feel this way. Just how Batman and the world is.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think that was literally the only thing that Rocksteady didn't deliver on, which they never promised it, but like they toyed with the idea and they just never thought they could fit it in. So I'm glad to see Warner Brothers Montreal, who did the Arkham Origins game, deciding to take it a step further and say, like, this is something unique we can bring to the table. We can bring a co-op experience. It looks like a drop-in, drop-out co-op experience. Like, it looked like Robin just suddenly popped up. Which was really cool. And it was the Robin I was hoping for. It was Tim. So, you know, don't get me wrong. I'm a huge Dick Grayson fan. Like, that's my favorite character. But like, when it comes to like, when I think of the modern Bat family, I think of Batman, Nightwing, Red Hood, Tim Drake as Robin, Barbara Gordon as Oracle or Batgirl. I'll accept either. Yeah. You know. And yeah, I just was happy. It's just nice to get Tim included in some shit, because we've been talking about this for a while, that like Tim is being treated like the stepchild that no one wants for some reason.
It's so sad. It doesn't make any sense either.
He's such a great character. He's so beloved. He spent over 20 years as Robin as far as his comic book run, and I think he has a very important place in Batman's mythology, and I don't know why he's being left out of the animated movies and live action and all this other stuff. So like, it's nice to get him, and even in the comics right now, he's sort of displaced. If you're not reading Young Justice, you're not getting Tim Drake really. So it's nice to know he's here. In a world where, I mean, the animated universe world where like it seems like that people have forgotten him. You know, he is in the show Young Justice, which is popular to some people. It certainly is it certainly is one of the better animated shows that they've come up with. You just didn't really see him. And one of the game's aspects that I loved so much was that Tim was the main Robin that was working with Batman, because, you know, Batman's grouchy. But it was just really nice to see him. Tim Drake's my favorite Robin. I'm definitely a Tim Drake guy, and it was really a relief to see that, because I've just been seeing a lot of Damian, and I'm not hating on my Damian lovers, but just Tim, you know. So yeah, that was interesting. That did really give off a lot of what the combat system and the co-op system would be like. Yes. And I feel like the main world premiere trailer was gonna probably deal with the story of it, like the main storyline, which is giving us
more than anything would in like a first trailer. No, you know, like I feel like you would give the gameplay trailers sometime after the main one. So that was really nice too. Just a happy accident to happen.
Yeah, I was really expecting just, you know, all cinematics, just like a, you know, CGI, you know, basically watching a movie at that point. You know, I expected that type of trailer. That's usually what you get. You usually don't get gameplay right away, like Miles is saying. Like you really have to wait and be patient to get gameplay, usually months after the fact. So it was a really nice surprise to see gameplay first, and have it integrated with voice acting, and a bit of story is going on, but like you can't tell like exactly what it is. But I feel like that was the best possible introduction into that. Like trailer be damned. In my opinion, like I'd much rather see gameplay from a game than anything else, because that's what really makes the game. You know, what you're going to be playing. How does it play?
Yeah.
You can always make things look cute in a cutscene, but like the meat and potatoes of the game is like it's gameplay. So I'm not sold on a game until I see gameplay, and that sold me. That made me excited for this.
Yeah, and we had just had the discussion before we started recording that like I didn't know this, but you know, Rocksteady, who was responsible for the first Arkham games, was not a part of this one that was upcoming, and I just got very nervous and hesitant to like want to delve into it more, because they did such a good job, and like, you know, people change this kind of stuff and it really affects the whole thing. But the biggest relief for me was just seeing how Barbara moved and how she fought, seeing the little target icon go on places that she could grapple up to. Like it felt like the Arkham Knights sequel that we've been waiting years for. And I have no gripes about it so far. We'll wait to see what the storyline's gonna be like, see what the, you know, where they're placing this. But yeah, I have absolutely no gripes about it. I love everything I just saw. It was just like, oh, I'm just soaking it in still. So
it was fantastic. I had such a nice flutter of like energy going through my veins at that point. I was just like, oh, this is sweet. Yeah, I definitely dig where they're going with it. I think it's something that we've needed from a Batman game for a long time. I love that. I love that you can, you know, you can play it entirely single player, or you can play it with co-op at any time that you choose, based on what you said, if that's true. Because I feel like that's an element that's been missing from Batman titles and video game titles in general. Like co-op is just disappeared. It's just shrunk and disappeared over time. And like true to form, like a campaign that includes co-op, instead of just having some side mission mode where it's just like you get these separate missions and you can play with your friends. And you know, they're sort of linear and boring and not interesting and repetitive. Like I love games that put the co-op right into the story campaign. That's why I'm a big fan of Resident Evil 5 and 6. Yes. I don't haters be damned. I don't care. I'm a big fan of those games because they took the time to say like, no, this is the story and you're playing with someone and it's great. But the advantage here is that they're going a step further and saying you're not forced to play with someone. This time, if you want to play by yourself, if that's the type of gamer you are, you can totally do that. But if you're going to have fun with friends, you know, if you want to have your own Bat family going, then you can do that, and I think that's fantastic.
It's wonderful. It brings me, like, I mean, both of us, I want to say, like, grew up really on co-op games. And they had been missing. Like the one I always go back to, Sonic the Hedgehog. It's the simplest game with the simplest story. It's just a platformer, but you have the option to have the second person play as Tails and help you fly to places and do all this other stuff, and it's not necessary, but you know, it certainly is helpful throughout playing the game, and it's optional, which is what Phil is getting on. And that's just magical to see in a Batman game.
Yes.
Like a Batman game.
Some people will gripe into playing and say that co-op ruins games. I don't think co-op ruins games.
No, I don't understand that mentality at all.
No.
I don't get it.
Yeah, like I think especially when they make it optional, it is just another way to expand on your gameplay experience. If you're not a social gamer, if you don't like playing with friends or whatever, for whatever reason, that's fine.
Yeah.
But like for the rest of us who enjoy video games and enjoy hanging out with our friends and enjoy doing them at the same time, like why would we not want co-op to be an option in the game? If anything, it gives you multiple ways to play the game. You can play through by yourself and then also do a second playthrough with somebody, or however you want to do it. So I'm glad to see that option come alive. I think this is the best news I could have gotten about this game. Now, like Miles said, the only thing that is looming or left to really delve into is story. Like, what are we getting as far as, like, is this a new universe? Is this its own Batman universe? Or are we doing something that's tied to the Arkham games? It doesn't have the Arkham name to it, so I want to say that it's going to be a new thing, maybe.
Yeah.
And that excites me because I love the Arkham games as they are. You could have continued to play in that sandbox, and I would have loved that. But also, there are things that, like the Batgirl and Tim Drake relationship that I wasn't a fan of. There are things in that universe that I could have done without, so, like, I'm happy to see them try something new. Especially if that gives them room. No, I don't want to spoil the Arkham series, but there's a certain way that characters end up in that universe that, like, kind of has a sense of finality to it. So, like, it would have been hard to follow up with. But I feel like if they're doing their own thing now, just like comic books do all the time, you know, you have different runs by different creative teams, then this could be something really fantastic. So I really just want to know story, and voice acting, like who you bring to the table. Just especially for character like Batman, like, you got to get that right.
You gotta. I don't want to say Kevin Conroy because he's obviously not the only one, but oh my god,
yes,
just an all-around good voice actor. But he's been Batman for so many people, not outside of the games. They even brought him back for the fucking CW crossover. You know? Like, people obviously love him, and we would love that. But I know that there are other good voice actors for Batman.
Right, you know, Bruce Greenwood from Young Justice and Under Red Hood.
Yes.
He does a great job. You know, I liked Reno Romano from The Batman. I thought he had a good Batman voice as well.
I did too, yeah.
You know, there are a handful of other actors out there that have really done the role justice. But if you have first pick, it's always going to be Kevin. Kevin Conroy is always going to be, like, the man.
Yes. Love you, Kevin.
Yes.
Yeah, so without further ado, we're probably just gonna take a little break, and then we're gonna go right back into watching the world premiere trailer. Oh my god, I'm so excited.